cursors. Now this is very important. Usually I have normal brush tip selected because I want to see the shape of my brush. And under other cursors, I have precise selected. As you remember early on in the video, when I was able to enlarge and shrink and soften and harden the edge of my brush, how the brush color was red, this is where you select the color. Okay, so let's talk about normal brush tip versus precise. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to hit B for brush. And on the Apple, I'm going to hit Control and click so I can see my brushes. And I'm going to select a brush that has a very specific shape. For example, this cloud right here. You will notice that I'm going to enlarge this brush right here. You will notice that it has the shape of the brush. That is because in our cursors, I have normal brush tip size selected. Okay, so I can see what my brush looks like. So when I click, I'm going to create a new layer. When I paint with one click using this brush, I will get the shape of the brush. Okay, now if I have to do something very precise, B for brush and then hit the Control key anywhere in the canvas to look for a brush, a very unique brush. Let's say this electrical wire thing right here. I'm going to click on the canvas, not on the image. I'm going to create a new layer. Don't worry about the layers and how to do all that stuff. I'll show you guys how to do all of that in different videos. But let's say that I want this specific thing to be centered on a specific place of my image. I would hit caps lock. Then my brush turns into a crosshair. I can zoom in and then I can click on that place, and I know that that brush that I had selected before, which looks like this when I'm in normal mode, that's exactly where it's gonna go. Full size and bring the preferences back. So that is what precise mode means. Okay, let's go to the next, which is a transparency and gamut. By default, Photoshop comes with something like this. Okay, it's a checker pattern. And the colors for the checker patterns are right here, right below the grid colors. Okay, you can customize this. I will show you what they look like without an image. Now, I find this to be very hard to paint on. Okay, very distracting, very annoying. So what I like to do, I like to change my transparency colors to a color that I recognize it's a transparency, meaning that I go to a gray green, so a green, a very desaturated green, somewhere light color. And I will explain more later on what the color picker does, but I'm going to select this number right here. These are web numbers. I'm going to select that light green grayish color. I'm going to select the number. I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go to the other color of the grid. I'm going to paste, or Command V on a PC. I'm going to paste that number. And then I'm going to select something a little bit off, either a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. So I know, as you can see right here, that that's my transparency color. Okay, so this is how you can customize your transparency color. You can change the size of the grid to large, or you can change it to none, or to small. Okay, I like to go for a medium color. All right, so let's go to units and rulers. This is very easy to explain. If you work with inches, select inches. If you like to work with pixels, select pixels, and on and on. Okay, this is how you set up the units of your rulers. Now, where can you find the rulers? We will talk more about the view menu later on, but the rulers is found under view and rulers, and the shortcut is Apple R or Command R on a PC. All right, so Apple R brings the rulers, Apple R hides the rulers. And the rulers are very important. As you can see, if I move the toolbox, as you can see, your top left corner is the 00 mark, okay? And the rulers are very important because it's going to help us create guides. So Under units and rulers, I have inches. So these right here are inches. Under type, always have points selected. That's how you describe the size of a font in points. Next is the new document presets resolutions. For the print resolution, I have 300 because anything below 300 tends to be a little bit chunky. Screen resolution is very important. Anything you put in video, anything that you put on the web will only display at 72 pixels per inch. So print resolution to 300 and screen resolution to 72. Now the point and the pica size, keep it at 72 points per inch. Okay. Next, guides, grids, and slices. I tend to use very obnoxious colors for my guides, just because I want to see them. I want them to pop out. Try not to use light gray or black. Of course, if you have a character that is mostly cyan and you use cyan guides, you know where to go to change them. Okay. Smart guys, when you move things around in Photoshop, you will see a bunch of lines popping out. For example, if I create something on a new layer, and don't worry about this, I will show you how to do all of this in the future. Okay, and you use the move tool, you will notice these lines popping out left and right because it thinks that you want to center. So it's trying to tell you, hey, this is the center of the image. Okay, so I pick magenta. You can pick any color you want. Like I said, pick colors that pop out at you. Now, for the grid, I like to use a light gray color. And I have a grid line on every inch. And then I have subdivisions. So every quarter of an inch, I have a subdivision. Slices, I tend to go for a light blue. All right, let's go to next. This is where all your plugins go. Now, if you buy and you install plugins in your Photoshop, Photoshop will allow you to select a specific folder where you have your plugins. Okay, under type, select use smart quotes, enable missing glyph protection, show font names in English, and under choose text engine option, I have East Asian selected because I have certain fonts that I can see. Now under 3D, leave everything by default. The only things that I suggest is if you have 1 GB of VRAM like my laptop has, try to use as much as the VRAM as possible because everything that's 3D in Photoshop is based on the video RAM. Leave the overlay colors where they are. And the one thing that I would suggest, under high quality threshold, select 5 and then active light source limit, just keep it down to 8 because if not, you're going to tax your computer. If you move your cursor under description, you can read a better explanation of what everything does. And last but not least is the experimental features. Leave everything the way it is. And this concludes our video tutorial on the preferences. A little bit long, but remember, your preferences are crucial in Photoshop. All right, next we're going to talk about palettes, how to organize palettes, how to move around palettes, and how to customize your workspace. See you soon.